A millionaire rushed home to find his daughter trapped in a locked car, gasping for air. His new wife claimed she had forgotten her. But the maid's bleeding hands told another story. When the truth came out, the stepmother's cruelty was exposed and her fate was sealed. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments what time is it and where are you watching from. Let's start. The car gleamed in the driveway under the blazing afternoon sun. Inside, the little girl sat trapped in the back seat, her small palms pressed desperately against the hot glass. Her yellow dress was soaked through with sweat, her sobs muffled by the sealed windows. "Daddy, help me," she whispered hoarsely, banging her tiny fists weakly. Minutes earlier, her stepmother had stepped out of the car, handbags swinging, heels clacking against the stone. Without looking back, she locked the doors with a faint click and strolled inside the mansion. To anyone watching, it would look like carelessness, like she had simply forgotten the child was still inside. But the girl knew better. Now panic clawed at her chest. She screamed again, her voice raw. "Somebody, please." The maid, dressed in a neat blue uniform and apron, had just carried a basket of clean linens onto the porch when she heard the faint thumping. She froze, then spun around. Her eyes widened at the sight of the little girl's tear-streaked face behind the glass. "Emily," she cried, dropping the basket. She rushed to the car and pulled the handle locked. Her palms slammed against the glass. "Stay with me, baby. Don't fall asleep." The girl pounded her fists, crying harder. "It's hot. I can't." The maid's chest heaved. She turned, screaming toward the house. "Madam, the keys." "Where are the keys?" But the door stayed shut. No answer came. The maid's breathing turned frantic. She banged her fists against the glass again. Pain shot through her knuckles, skin splitting, blood smearing the surface. But the window held. "Oh God, no," she whispered, trembling. That's when the roar of another engine filled the driveway. A silver car pulled in sharply. The millionaire, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in his navy suit, stepped out, adjusting his tie. His eyes flicked toward the commotion, and his face drained of color. "What the hell's happening?" he shouted, striding forward. The maid's voice cracked as she turned to him. "Sir, she's locked inside. She can't breathe." His eyes snapped to the car. His daughter's red face, her tiny fists against the window, her mouth opening and closing as she gasped, his chest clenched in horror. "Emily," he rushed forward, slamming his fists against the glass. "Daddy's here. Hold on." The girl sobbed harder. The maid's hands shook. She slammed her bare palm again, splitting her skin further. Blood smeared across the glass. "It's not breaking." The father's voice thundered, panicked. "Where are the keys?" The maid's eyes burned with tears. She took them inside. "She's not coming." For a moment, silence crashed between them. The only sound the child's weakening cries. The father stood frozen, fury rising in his chest, but helpless. Then the maid's expression hardened. No more waiting. She darted to the garden's edge, snatched up a jagged rock, and turned back to the car. "Wait," the father barked, his voice cracking. "The car." But she didn't hesitate. She swung with everything she had. Crack. The glass shuddered. Blood poured down her palm. She screamed and swung again. Crack. The third strike shattered the window into shards. Without thinking of her own wounds, she reached through, unlocked the door, and pulled the girl into her arms. The child clung to her, sobbing into her chest, breathing ragged but alive. The father staggered back, staring at the scene. His maid's arms wrapped protectively around his daughter, her uniform stained with blood from her own cuts. His daughter gasped against her chest, clutching at her as though she were the only safe place left. The millionaire's hands shook as he pulled his daughter closer. Emily's small arms clung desperately to his neck, her body trembling. He kissed the top of her head, rage boiling in his chest. "Sweetheart," he whispered, his voice breaking. "Who put you in that car? Tell Daddy the truth." Emily's lips quivered. She looked up, her face still wet with tears. "It was her," she sobbed, pointing her tiny finger toward the house. "She locked me in. She laughed when I cried. She said I wasn't her child." The father froze. His blood ran cold. Slowly, he turned toward the mansion. His jaw clenched so tight it ached. The front door creaked open. His wife appeared, her heels clicking softly on the marble floor. She carried her handbag on her shoulder, her face calm. Too calm. "What's all this drama?" she asked lightly, as if nothing had happened. The maid's bloodied hand tightened around the child. "Don't you dare act innocent," she snapped, her voice trembling with fury. "You left her there. You wanted her to suffer." The woman's eyes flicked coldly to the maid, then back to her husband. Are you really going to believe her? She sneered. She probably forgot the girl in the car herself, and now wants to pin it on me. The millionaire's voice roared, echoing against the stone walls. Enough. Emily told me what you did. His wife blinked, finding shock. She's a child. Children lie, and she pointed sharply at the maid, her tone venomous. You're nothing but a servant looking for pity. The maid's body trembled, but she lifted her chin, blood dripping down her wrist. I would cut my hand open 100 times over to save that little girl. Can you say the same? The father's chest heaved, his eyes burned with fury. No, she can't. His tone dropped deadly low. Because she didn't save her, she left her, the wife scoffed. You can't prove anything. He spun toward the house, his voice thundering. Then let's see what the cameras say. Minutes later, the three of them stood in the study. The maid cradled Emily on her lap, whispering comfort as the security footage played. On the screen, there it was. Undeniable. His wife stepping out of the car, glancing back at the crying child, smirking, locking the door with her remote, and walking away. No hesitation, no mistake, no forgetting, just cruelty. The father's face turned red with fury. Emily buried her face into the maid's shoulder, whispering, See, Daddy, I told you. The woman's lips curled into a twisted smile. So what? So I locked her in. Maybe now she'll learn she's not the princess she thinks she is. You spoil her. She's weak. Always whining. Always in the way. The maid gasped, clutching the girl tighter. You heartless. The millionaire slammed his fist onto the desk, making them all jump. His voice exploded. Get out. His wife blinked, stunned. What? You heard me? He spat, pointing toward the door. Pack your things and get out of my house. You'll never come near my daughter again. Her face twisted with rage. You're choosing her. She jabbed a finger toward the maid, and that brat over me after everything. The man's eyes burned like fire. She's my daughter, and the maid you spit on just saved her life while you tried to destroy it. You're nothing to us. Nothing. Emily lifted her head, tears streaking her cheeks. She whispered, voice trembling but firm. I don't want you here. Ever. The stepmother's mask cracked completely. She let out a bitter laugh, clutching her handbag tighter. Fine, you'll regret this. Both of you. The millionaire stepped forward, his voice a growl. The only regret I have is marrying you. Now get out before I drag you out. With a final glare, the woman stormed toward the stairs, heels snapping against the marble. Minutes later, the sound of a suitcase dragging echoed down the hall, followed by the slam of the front door. Silence hung heavy. The father turned back to his maid and his daughter. His chest ached as he saw the child nestled against the maid's chest, her tiny fingers clutching the woman's apron, as if afraid to let go. The maid's bloodied hand stroked the girl's hair, gently whispering, You're safe, baby. Nobody's going to hurt you now. The man knelt down, pulling both of them into his arms. His voice cracked. Thank you. You saved what matters most to me. I'll never forget this. The maid shook her head softly. She's your daughter? I couldn't stand by. Emily sniffled, her small hand, gripping both of theirs together. Can we stay like this forever? The father kissed her forehead. Forever, sweetheart. I promise. And in that moment, though his marriage was destroyed, he realized he hadn't lost. He had finally seen the truth. He had his daughter safe in his arms, and the one woman in his house who had proven her loyalty with blood. The maid had done the unthinkable. She had saved his daughter's life when her own stepmother tried to take it. Real love protects, no matter the cost. If this story moved you, hit like, share, and subscribe to never miss powerful stories of courage and truth. Comment below. Who do you think showed true family in this moment?